right, you guys, so let's talk about this speak on it that Kandi had with Courtney. Courtney being the cousin of Ralph, the cousin-in-law to Drew. We know that Ralph and Drew are in the middle of a divorce. Looks like the divorce is going to be messy. Well, I guess the divorce is still going forth, because at one point I think I heard that Ralph wanted to kind of try to work things out with his wife. He said that he loves his wife. He wants to stay with his wife. I remember seeing that maybe about a month or two ago. But now things have gotten quite a bit messier as Courtney has entered into the fray and just really has a whole lot of opinion about this marriage, about her so-called cousin. Still, jury is out whether or not this is a real cousin or play cousin. I didn't even watch the whole speak on it, you guys, because Courtney is not a person that I just don't want to watch a whole speak on it of her talking. Okay. I was surprised to see that Kandi would even have Courtney on there, considering the history between the two, but Kandi likes to maintain that Speak On It is a place that she invites everybody to, whether or not it's her friend or a foe, and that they're able to come on there and speak freely about however they feel. So I guess this was Kandi giving her a platform to speak, because she's given it to many other people as well, and maybe other people have had something negative to say about Courtney, so maybe Courtney needs to have a platform where she can say what she wants to say as well. My thing about that, though, the reason why I keep on saying that I don't think Kandi really likes Drew is because Kandi is pretty loyal to her friends, like her real friends, and if it's something that even Kandi can't get with, and it's her friends, like, she's not going to promote something like that. Okay, she's not going to promote something that negatively shows her friend that negatively shows her friend in that light. Okay, so the fact that she would have Courtney on there, knowing that Courtney is going to say all this shit about supposedly Kandi's friend Drew, you know, I don't know. But then when I think about it, I don't know if that's fair to say, because I also know that Kandi's had people on there that have talked bad about Kenya, and, you know, Kenya's her home girl, and have talked bad about, you know, other people that might be her friends. So, I mean, maybe that's, I don't know. It just seems very like Kandi and Drew's relationship. It doesn't feel like it is just like a sure thing, like that's a homegirl. We still don't know for a fact if Kandi really, really likes Drew or not, and really vice versa, you know. But so Kandi had Courtney on there. I already kind of talked about this in the Real Housewives review, but you know, Courtney is just, I mean, the part that everybody is talking about is the part that Kandi actually edited out. So Kandi had posted the speak on it on the day that she normally, I guess, post speak on it. And then there was a lot of backlash about Courtney and Kandi discussing the mental illness of Drew's sister, Allison. And so the part that was edited out, your girl Jay Lee from Jay Lee's Corner, she screenshotted the speak on it. I mean, she didn't screenshot it. She recorded the whole interview. Because I think that's what she just normally does, because she usually talks about these different things on her channel. So, and they have watch-alongs and things. So, Jay Lee ended up capturing the actual original video before it was taken down. And then when Kandi re-uploaded the video, that part where they talk about the mental illness was removed. But Jay Lee still had it. So Jay Lee ended up uploading it again on her channel. And now I see that the blogs have picked up her upload, and now they're still talking about it. You know, they still have the footage of the things that Courtney said, which was just, it wasn't even cringe-worthy. I think the better word for me, people were saying that it was like cringy, but the better word for me was, it was just super tone deaf. And it was interesting that Kandi even was tone deaf on it. It was just like, girl, you ain't read the temperature of the room. Like, we talk about mental illness, and for mental illness doesn't have a face. Okay? So, and I mean that when Kandi said, you know, she was thinking like, you know, when she looked at the sister and she was introduced to the sister, you know, she just didn't look like a person that had mental illness. As soon as she said that, I was just like, nah, Kandi. I mean, fuck, I got bad anxiety. Do I look like I have a mental illness? People have all types of things that they're struggling with their mental health, and you would never know it. So that was an extremely ignorant thing to say, that, oh, she didn't look like she was. Yeah, people don't look like that, you know, but because folks is trying to survive every fucking day, and they not, you know, we ain't said that this person is completely like schizophrenic or anything like that. She is just a person that is dealing with her own personal struggles when it comes to her mental health, like many people are, you know. So for her to say that, and then, you know, Courtney talking about it, and it was just, the whole thing was just, it was in poor taste. So I saw why they removed it. But the whole thing was like, why did you guys even feel comfortable enough to talk about it in the first place? You know? Now, it's touch and go because Allison is on the show. Allison is a big part of the show and Drew's story. So it's hard to talk about Allison without bringing up the mental illness. But I think that there is a better way that you could have handled that and said, you know, and Candy's part of it is not as bad as Courtney's, but Kandi is guilty of, now we talked about this before. Kandi is a person that kind of will laugh about stuff, even if, I think that she laughs when she's like uncomfortable, she smiles and all that. People think that that's a form of her co-signing what a person might be saying, whereas it really is just Kandi trying to process how to react to something that somebody might say, especially if it's like extremely foul. So I do know that about Kandi, but people still don't seem to know that about Kandi. So now they're giving Kandi the hard time and saying, you know, that she was up there co-signing the shit that Courtney was saying and all that. But Courtney is just, I mean, it's clear that Courtney is willing to go there. Courtney would like to be back at Real Housewives of Atlanta, obviously. So, okay. And so she gonna say whatever the hell she want to say. And, so I don't think that Courtney is trying to run from the attention. She wants it. Because she said that she was a better friend to Ralph in these past 6 months than Drew has ever been in the 8 years that they were married. You know? And it's just, and she said she stands wholeheartedly on that statement. And I'm just like, the nerve and the gall for this woman to come and in 6 months she thinks she got this whole relationship figured out. And then she's stupid because I promise you don't never know how couples is gonna move when divorces is happening. You know, these are people that was once in love with each other, might still be in love with each other. There's a lot of passion there. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of hate. There's a lot of stuff that goes on when people are divorcing and shit like this. But just, you guys know there's a fine line between love and hate. These two might make it back to each other. You know, and then Courtney gonna be the one over there looking stupid. You know, so sometimes you just need to not even speak on shit. Yeah, you might think that you got all the answers in 6 months. I don't think that Drew and Ralph will be back together. But you know, you just don't never really know. I just told you that Ralph said that he apologizes for the things that he said about his wife and that he would like, you know, for it to work. But yeah, it was definitely not a good look. And then when they re-uploaded it, I was just like, why did you guys re-upload it? And you didn't think people was going to notice that they had cut that part out? You might as well have just left the whole video down and just scrapped the whole thing. But you know, like I said, it's the end of the month. Kandi was like, bitch, I got to get my money too, you know. But it was just sort of like, was it worth it for you to bring it back? Because now everybody is saying, you know, Kandi was shady for even taking it out. You already knew it was wrong. Why did you guys leave it in to begin with and all that, you know, and kind of accusing Kandi of bowing down to the pressure of social media, you know, and that she was wrong for even saying it in the first place. So, yeah, they really should have just left the video They should have just left the video down, really. We don't care that much about Courtney that you actually had to bring it back just for you to be caught up, in all this controversy now, you know? So that's the whole thing. But yeah, shout out to Jay Lee for getting that damn clip, because honey, Jay Lee sent it to me personally yesterday and was just like, here, I'm making sure that you see the part that was missing, because she knew that you guys were going to be asking me to talk about it. I had already planned on talking about it, but the fact that she sent me that and I didn't have to watch the whole video, you know, thank you. Shout out to Jay Lee. But yeah, it's so much drama with Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is the kind of shit that makes you be tired of the show. It don't be the show itself. It be all the other fallout from the show. It just never ends. It never ends. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about that. Do you fault Kandi for having Courtney on the show? I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about that. I don't like Courtney, so I just feel like she didn't need to be on there at all. But I do know that Kandi's platform is where she tries to let everybody have a fair chance of saying what they have to say. So, I mean, maybe Kandi was just sticking to the way that she does her show, but I don't know. You guys have to let me know what you think about that, though. Y'all see it for Courtney? Think she'll be back next season? Or is she part of this old group that's getting cut? Y'all let me know.
But natural, stay in your bag like you wearing satchels. Hey, baby, you a godsend, just missing the sandals. But still, you ain't missing much. Put your hands on my back, just a different touch. Put your ass on my plate, I don't skip the lunch. I don't skip the brunch, not the dinner neither. And we have the
guys, next story up. So these rumors about Steve and Marjorie. They just came out of nowhere. You know, we see Marjorie and we see Steve. First of all, we see Steve working like a fucking slave to all of these different jobs that he has. He's on the radio. He's got a couple of shows on the TV. I mean, this man is really hardworking, okay? And he has to do that because he has a wife that loves the finer things in life and likes to be taken care of as such. And so yes, the man is busy. He's out there, he's making the money, okay? Marjorie is spending the money, okay? We see her looking good. She, you know, doesn't wear the same outfit twice. Her kids, they all look like they good. You know, he adopted everybody. They all got the Harvey name. You know, Steve Harvey is responsible for a lot of people. Even though everybody is grown now, so we ain't got no babies or nothing, but you know, those are his kids and they got kids, so they, you know, grandkids, all that, okay? We know the story of how Steve and Marjorie got together. If you don't, honey, you can Google it. You can Google Marjorie before she even married Steve Harvey, and there is even a lot to say before they even got together. Marjorie has quite the colored past. And we already kind of know the story, and the story is fascinating. So if you guys ever get a chance, y'all just go into a deep dive, just go down the rabbit hole. But I say all that to say, what we do know about Marjorie is that Marjorie don't play with her coin, okay? Marjorie don't play with her coin. She's smart enough to know not to fuck up her bag. Now the rumor is that she was messing with the chef. Or I've heard that the rumor was the chef, and also the rumor was that she was messing with the bodyguard. I said, unless this is some billion-dollar chefs and bodyguards, I don't see Marjorie. Marjorie is not above possibly stepping over one man to get to the next man. I don't know if I would say that she is above doing that. But Marjorie is definitely above stepping from her extremely rich husband to somebody that might be considerably less rich. You know, she ain't trying to be with somebody that ain't got more money than Steve. How much sense does that make? So if I was Marjorie, I would make it a point to make sure that I stay away from any man that I felt that would even tempt me to think that way. And continue to get taken care of the way that her husband is currently taking care of her. Yeah, she ain't stupid, you guys. Marjorie says she many things, but stupid is not one of them. Okay? And so Steve Harvey, when the rumors came out, he was doing, I think he was hosting at Invest Fest, which was just recently a big like conference festival type thing that they had, where, you know, they were talking about black people investing money and businesses and entrepreneurship and all of that. So Steve Harvey was either a speaker there or an MC or whatever, and he got up there and he said everything is fine with him and Marjorie. He don't even know where the fucking rumor came from, but y'all need to do something else, concentrate on somebody else. Him and Marjorie is just good. And then Marjorie, she gave us the holy route. She gave us the godlike response. I'm going to read to you what she said. My husband and I don't usually stop to address all the foolishness and lies that have been spread about us. However, to whom much is given, much is required. I understand that with my platform comes some sort of responsibility to those that may not be as strong as we are. Read and share this with your loved ones that may not know how to properly cope. God bless all of you. And she gave this website, Matt McMillan Ministries, and it was talking about how to handle being lied on. Okay, so she referenced that article, told people that they needed to go over there and read that, and, you know, kind of just God bless you and be on your way kind of thing. So I think that that's them just like saying that we're not going to give it any more energy than it has. We've already told you that it's not true, and we going on with our life. Okay, now, how many of you guys have that small little part? It's always there, that small little part where it's just sort of like, do rumors just come out of the blue? Or is there always something that sparks it? It could be a little teeny tiny spark. It could be nothing. But what exactly made that rumor even surface? Was it just a hater out there that wanted to give them a bad day? Or where there's smoke, do you think there might be some fire? I just can't see Marjorie fucking up like that. I just cannot see her doing it. Although, you know, Marjorie would get, unless they have a prenup, but Marjorie would, and I'm sure they probably do, because Steve Harvey, this is his third marriage. And we know that he done been through drama with them, you know, with that past marriage especially. So, like, I don't know. Maybe she would get spousal. I don't know, you guys. I don't believe it. I'm just gonna say I don't believe that she's in this case messing around with no damn bodyguard or chef. But you guys will have to let me know what you think. Do you think that Marjorie is out there dipping around with the help? Let me know.
It's not a centimeter, getting in between is all you two turned up. Never turned down.
Next story is all of these shootings. There's 2 shootings that we have to talk about. I didn't want to put them like in the beginning of the video because, you know, YouTube be tripping, but we have 2 very tragic shootings that we have to talk about. The first one happened in Jacksonville at a Dollar General store. Shooter Ryan Palmeter, he first went to an HBCU that was in the area, Edward Waters University. He drove there to the university, and as he got out of the car and went to his trunk, apparently he was seen putting on like tactical gear, bulletproof vests and things like that. And some of the students saw it, so they flagged down the campus security and had him, you know, had them go and approach him. So the security guard did go to, or the campus police did go and talk to the to Paul Meter, and tell him, you know, like, what was your business on the campus? He couldn't really say what his business was there, so they told him that he had to leave. So he did leave, they said, with no incident. But he did drive to a local Dollar General store. And once he got there, he went and he pulled his rifle out of his car. And before he even walked into the Dollar General, he turned around and he shot and killed an Uber driver who was just dropping off somebody at the store. She was in her car. This would be 52-year-old Angela Michelle Carr, okay? Just pulled into the parking lot, wrong place, wrong time. He shot 11 times into her vehicle and killed her there, okay? Then he turned around and went into the store, and he proceeded to kill 2 more people. Gerald, I think it's Gerald Deshaun Gallion, who's 29 years old. He's a father, a new father. They're saying, you know, he'll never see his kid again. And then the other victim was Arnold Joseph Legier, I believe, Jr. And he was 19 years old, just graduated high school, has his whole future ahead of him. They were killed in the store. I believe that the 19-year-old kid, I believe he worked in the store. And then Paul Meter turned the gun on himself and killed himself. So this is 4 people that died from this senseless violence. And then, of course, the cowardly act of you going and killing everybody and then killing yourself too. Like, you don't stick around to face the music, you kill yourself. Now, they're saying that this boy had extreme hate for black people. Apparently, before he went into the Dollar General, he had called his father and told his father to break into his room and get some paperwork or whatever that he had left in there. And when the father did break in the room, that's where he saw like this letter where the boy is talking about what he about to do and how much he hate black people and all of this. And so the father had called the police, but he had already done what he was going to do and was dead by the time the father got around to, you know, getting the police on the line. Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters, he said that this was definitely a racially motivated attack. It's a hate crime, that this man hated black people. He said so in his social media. He said so on the letter. They've had other instances where he's been, they've had to bring him into the hospital and hold him because he had some mental issues. He had swastikas on his firearms. They said that he was just like never had been in trouble. He didn't have a record or anything, but that he was just completely out of his mind with hate, okay, and rage. And that was the reason why he did what he did. He's dead now, so they're investigating, but there's nobody to charge now because everybody that was involved is dead. And once again, this is an eye-opener of just how much people hate black people. And it's just like, what is the reason? You know, it's just amazing that there's still such a huge community of folks out there that just really don't see it for black people for no other reason than the fact that they have dark skin. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I would have said throw his ass in jail and he could even face the death penalty, but he's already dead. So, I mean, that's the end of that. The other shooting that I wanted to talk about was at University of North Carolina in the Chapel Hill campus in the Caudill Labs. I hope I'm saying that right. The victim was Professor Yan. I'm not going to mess up his first name. It's Z-I-J-I-E, Yan. He's the associate professor in the College of Arts and Sciences in the Applied Physical Sciences Department. Apparently, one of his students, 34-year-old Talay Key. Now, these are Asian people. I'm not sure of what descent they are. They're Asian descent, but I'm not sure exactly what they are. But apparently the boy, the man, because he's 34 years old, the man went into the classroom of Professor Yan, shot him and killed him and walked right back out. That was clearly his target. He didn't shoot at anybody else, but they did still lock down the campus because at first they didn't know where he was. They did find him within 2 hours after the shooting incident. They were able to arrest him with no problem. But in this case, this sounds like this might be something a little bit more personal. Okay. The professor is dead, but the shooter is not. And so far, we don't really know what the motive is. So they are going to investigate exactly the reason why, you know, this man went and killed the professor. The shooter was actually part of the professor's research group. You know, they're just trying to figure out what exactly was the issue between the two. I'm sure they'll get down to the bottom of that. But in this case, I don't know if they'll be able to consider it a hate crime. It might be something more personal about this. They did show the students locked down. They had them locked down and told them that they needed to stay in place. But you can see on the video that some of them students was climbing out of windows and stuff because they was just terrified, which I don't blame them, because we know that sometimes those shooters will go from room to room and just try to clear out as many people as they could. So them kids was trying to get the fuck up out of there, and I don't blame them, child. So they was climbing out of windows and throwing their backpacks and all their shit out the windows and going too. But like I said, it looks like that he really had just that one person, intended on just that one person as his target. As of yesterday, when I was reading up on it, they couldn't find the weapon. I don't know if they have found the weapon now, but that's the reason why, even though they did lift the lockdown at the school, they still were trying to tell people, you know, to just be out only if you have to. They were trying to find the weapon. But yeah, you guys, so much shooting. That's just kind of what happens here in the U.S. now. Every week is some sort of shooting. So we'll see what happens, you guys. I'll tell you guys more about it as it goes on. They did charge him with first-degree murder and having a gun on educational property. So we'll hear more about this case. And once I know more about it, then I will definitely let you know.
When there's big energy, when I come around, though. So, don't ever switch. No, you've been looking, won't find it like this.
All right, you guys, next story. We're going to send a rest in peace up to Bob Barker. You guys know him like I know him. He was the host of The Price is Right. It was a show that many of us grew up on. Back in the 70s when I was born, that was like the, that was the game show, okay? And then all the other ones was just all the other ones. But The Price is Right is one of those flagship game shows that's going to always be around. Even when Bob Barker left, I think people thought that the show would not go on. He passed the reins down to Drew Carey. And honestly, you guys, I thought Bob Barker was dead already. I mean, I know that's terrible to say, but I did not know that he was still alive. He has pretty much been off of the radar since like the early 2000s. And that's around the time that I thought that he had died. But no, he just had probably gotten older, maybe had gotten sick or feeble or whatever. But anyway, he was not out in the spotlight much, if anything. So many people thought that he was dead already, but he wasn't. Yeah, now he's gone, you guys, and another legend gone. Now, he was the host for Price is Right, they said, for 35 years, but he was always in broadcasting. At first, he was on a game show called Truth and Consequences. That was even before I was around, y'all, and he was on there, they said, I think they said for about 20 years before he went on to Price is Right. So Bob Barker was already established out there before he even came to Price is Right. So 55 years, they said that he even holds the Guinness Book World Record for the most durable performer, because he's just been around for so long. During Bob Barker's career, he received 19 Emmy Awards, 14 as the host of Price is Right. He received 4 as the show's producer and a Lifetime Achievement Award. Back in 2004, he was inducted into the Television Academy Hall of Fame. Okay, so like I said, Bob Barker is the man, and I was sad to hear that he had died, but he was 99 years old, and the man definitely has lived a full life. We also know that he was the mouthpiece and the spokesperson for he was like an animal activist. Remember, he was the one that would always say, make sure you have your pet spayed or neutered. Okay. He made that a part. He said it at the end of every show, and he literally made that a part of all of our thinking. Whether or not you got your pet spayed or neutered, you knew what that was because of Bob Barker. So we know that he was very big into charity. He would give money, especially if it had to do with animal rights or anything with animals. But he also was like a big charity giver in many other instances as well. And so even in his death, that won't change. They say that his estate is basically going to be donated to many charities across the board that were important to him. In 1995, he started the DJ&T Foundation. That was in honor of his late wife and his mother, to give free or low-cost clinics or voucher programs to spay or neuter pets in order to control the pet population. And that foundation spent 30 years of donating to different charities and the such, that would help further his, belief in helping the pet population. So, or helping support animals, I should say. So, yeah, you guys, it's sad to say that Bob Barker, Mama named him Robert Barker, is not here any longer, but Price is Right will continue to live on. And even with Drew Carey being the host, you guys, Bob Barker is still that man. Like, when you think of Price is Right, you still think of Bob Barker. And he hasn't been there since 2007, so definitely left his mark. Definitely a legend that we have lost. Add him to the list of the many others that we have lost this year. He was 99 years old. Rest in peace to Bob Barker.
Know you been looking for a nigga that headed them curves. I'm Jimmy Johnson with this. I'm Jimmy Johnson with this. And
lastly, you guys, I'm just going to let you know that the government is not going to be shut down again. I do know that the COVID numbers are rising. So I'm just going to tell all of the rock stars to wear your mask, wash your hands, stay 6 feet away from the people again, because COVID is not gone. Obviously, it is not ever going to be gone, but now they're saying that the numbers are rising, and it could be a number of reasons why it's rising. It's hot outside. That means people are outside. People are going and doing and being in places. There's many big name concerts that people are gathering, thousands and thousands at a time. People are traveling. Everybody is everywhere. Nobody really wears masks anymore. But I hope you guys haven't got rid of your masks. You need to put the shit back on, because definitely the numbers are getting higher. People are getting sick again. And everybody is counting on these numbers shutting our government down again. I can tell you that they will never shut the government down again. They realized where that put our country, our nation, and they're going to figure out any other way. You see, they don't even really talk about COVID anymore, because they don't even want people to get into that mindset of anything anymore. They are trying to get everything back to the way that it was. And them couple of years where we was staying home and doing all of that, that is not normal. So they don't want that to be happening anymore. So yeah, they're not gonna shut it down, you guys. Y'all ain't getting no big checks from the government like we used to. They're not telling everybody to work from home. As a matter of fact, they're trying to urge everybody to go back to the office. No, there's not going to be another shutdown. Motherfuckers probably be dying and stuff, but they still not going to shut it down. I mean, it has to get to that point again, and it won't get to that point because of the vaccines. I don't even know if people are still taking these vaccines, the COVID vaccine. I just made an appointment with my doctor to go and get my shingles vaccine. I was like, bitch, when you start talking about shingle vaccine. But like I was watching on Instagram, Tamika was talking about how it's too many variants of the COVID. You just be getting vaccines. It might work for this strain, but it might not work for the next strain, and then you got to get another vaccine. We ain't doing all of that. Okay, everybody just put your fucking mask back on. Everybody need to be safe. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. If that's what you choose to do, keep getting the vaccine, then that's fine. It probably turn out to be just like the flu vaccine, but I don't take the flu vaccine either. But every year they urge people to take the flu vaccine. It'll probably be the same way with the COVID vaccine every year. And maybe once they get a better handle on all these different strains, Maybe I'll entertain doing the vaccine again, but as of right now, I'm just kind of like, I don't feel like getting the vaccine every 6 months or something. So we just gonna hold off and see if this mask situation will hold it off. Okay, but yeah, just telling y'all to be safe, but also letting y'all know that the government is gonna continue on as it's going. All right.
Turned up, looking like art, that's masterpiece. Make a nigga say unlike masterpiece. You should name yourself after me. Don't nobody really want you.
Also, I was supposed to give somebody a shout out today. I don't remember their name. I went through my Instagram, and you guys don't even understand how many people send me messages in my DMs. So whoever that was that asked me to give them a shout out last week, your message has been pushed down so far I can't remember who it was. And I even told you that I was going to forget, so make sure that you reminded me, but you didn't remind me. And so I'm sorry, but I hope you have a happy birthday. I think your birthday is September 1st. I think that's what we said. I remember all of that. I just don't remember the name, but whoever you were, hope you have a great birthday. All right, you guys, we are going to get off of here. Look, I took my nails off. I'm taking a break, you guys. But anyway, let me get on off of here and get this edited and scheduled for tomorrow, you guys. We do this every single week, so make sure that you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.